So this Twitch streamer is rich, like she makes millions, and some goons are about to try and steal it from her. Now her name is Caitlin, and Caitlin's 31, living in Houston, and she live streams a lot, on multiple platforms. She also has a spicy account over on the OF. She also owns a ton of businesses on the side, like a couple of gas stations, a pool toy company, a company that produces rubber balls, all kinds of stuff. And Caitlin doesn't mind being open with her fans about all the stuff she's invested in. But one day in 2024, she kind of screws up a little, because she tweets a screenshot of her Coinbase earnings showing that she has a lot of Bitcoin, more than $20 million worth. Now, allegedly, a couple of local turds in the area, they see her tweet or they hear about it, and they decide, oh, she got 20 million in Bitcoin? It's time to rob her. So they look up where she lives, and her address isn't public, but I assume you can find anything on the internet. And so they get her address, and one night in 2025, these goons put their plan into motion. First, they dress in all black, and they put on black ski masks. Then, they grab some pew-pews. Then the four of them get in their car, and they roll over to Caitlin's house. Here's the thing about Caitlin's house. Homegirl's got OF spicy picture money, so she don't live in just a regular house. She actually lives on a big-ass compound, almost like a ranch. And so these four goons pull up to her compound, and three of them get out. One of them is the getaway driver, so I guess he just stays in the car. And then they apparently try to enter this compound through the front. And not only is this place surrounded by a 10-foot wall fence with barbed wire on top, but they also have motion sensor lights. So these motion sensor lights start going on and off because they're detecting these goons there. And so they decide to try a different way, and they move around to the back of the place. And there, in the back, I guess they're able to pull some boards off the fence wall and create an opening for themselves. Then, the three goons make their way inside. And they eventually go up to a building, and it's like a garage area, and there's a sliding glass door. And suddenly, kaboom! The goons bust through the glass of the sliding glass door. Now, Caitlin, she's in a connecting building, and she's upstairs, and all the lights are out because she's gone to bed a little early. But she hears that kaboom. She hears the sliding glass door breaking, and it wakes her up. And she's like, what the hell was that? And so she grabs her phone, and she calls her husband. Her husband is this guy, Nick Lee. Now, Nick Lee is also there on the compound, but he's in a different building. And he's there, and he's just chilling in his underwear, working on something. And so she's like, sweetheart, I think I heard something. And Nick Lee, he's just trying to play it off. He's like, oh, this is probably just the dogs getting into something. Because, I guess their dogs just be like that. Meanwhile, the goons, they're inside, and they're making their way through the building. And this is actually a room where Caitlin and Nick, I guess they store a bunch of stuff here, so you can see them climbing over it. And so then they exit that building, and they enter a different one, the one Caitlin's actually in. And you can see them here walking around, you can see them scoping out the place, and they are specifically looking for Caitlin. Then they go upstairs, where her room actually is, and they get to the room, and her bedroom door is locked. And at this point, I guess one of the goons starts having second thoughts, and I guess he tries to back out.
Go, we're already in. Look, there's a camera right there, we're already in. Just do it.
And so I guess he gets back on board, and one of the goons raises his pew-pew, and blam, he shoots the lock of the door.
Oh.
But, unlike what you'd see in an action movie, you can't just shoot a lock open.
Oh, just get it. We got a problem.
And so then they try something different, and pow, they kick the door in. And Caitlin is still there, in bed, and the goons rush in, and they start screaming at her, where's the money at? Where's the crypto? Give me the crypto! And she's like, what? I don't have it! And boom, one of the goons pistol whips her, and they're like, give us the fucking crypto! And they pistol whip her again, and she's like, I don't have anything, what are you talking about? Now, she does actually have crypto. She was tweeting about it months before this. But generally, crypto is stored digitally, so she can't just grab it and hand it over. And so either these turds have no idea how crypto works, or they think she has some sort of cold storage device at her house that holds a bunch of the keys to her cryptocurrency, which is just very unlikely. My guess is they're just stupid and they have no idea how digital currency works. But whatever, they're still screaming at her, "Give us the crypto!" Meanwhile, Nick Lee is still in the other building, and he's in the bathroom and he's dropping a deuce. Now, I don't know if she had called him back or if he was on the line the whole time, but the second those goons bust into Caitlin's room, he's still on the phone, and he can hear everything going on in her room. And he can hear them screaming at her, he can hear them pistol whipping her, and as soon as he hears this, he jumps off the toilet and he springs into action. And he goes into another room and he grabs a bulletproof vest he has and he puts it on. Then he gets into his little safe and he grabs a pew-pew. While in Caitlin's room, at one point the goons grab her phone from her and they start scrolling through it, looking to see if she has any crypto apps. I guess so they can transfer the money from her to them? Well, she doesn't have a crypto app like that on her phone. Regardless, at this point, they've pistol whipped her 3 times, and her head is bleeding, so she knows she needs to do something. So, thinking fast, she's like, "Oh right, I now remember where I put the crypto. Follow me." And she leads them downstairs.
Go, Richie. Go now. Hurry up. Hurry. Go. Where you going?
It's in the pool.
It's not in the pool. Stop playing.
No, it's across the way.
Stop playing.
It's across the way.
Go.
And then she leads them out of that structure and across the way toward a different building. And in that building, she knows that's where her husband is, Nick Lee. And Nick Lee, he can see alerts on his phone that his cameras are going off. So from the cameras, he knows she's leading them to where he's at.
Oh, in here. It's in here.
Come on. Go.
And so Nick Lee waits there for a moment, with his pew-pew, waiting for them to show up. And so Caitlin leads them inside and up a staircase. And Nick Lee is standing at the top of that staircase. And suddenly he sees them. And he sees Caitlin first. And he yells at her to get down. And she does. And as soon as she ducks, blam, he shoots one of the goons. And the goons are like, "Oh shit!" And they immediately freak the fuck out and they quickly run away. And then they exit the property and they get in their car and they all flee. And after that, Nick Lee takes Caitlin to the hospital, and she had some cuts from all the pistol whipping, but she ended up okay, luckily. But the good thing is that police end up later catching one of the goons, the getaway driver, and he confesses to the crime and he ends up snitching on the other 3. And so, bam, they all get arrested. And they haven't released any of their mugshots yet, so I don't have any pictures of any of them. But here's the crazy part. They're all actually teenagers. The oldest goon is only 19. The youngest goon is 16 years old. That is wild.